to enhance shamanic voyaging, like the Incas did. Likewise, Stonehenge shows in stone number 22 the psilocybin cyansis mushroom, which is as old as Stonehenge itself. The Etruscan shamans are also shown flying on a mushroom. So the Stonehenge Stargate is very much related to shamanism. The frog, the sacred frog of the Merovingians and of the Mayans, the Bufavergas frog, contains 5-methoxy-DMT. Also in the Sumerian waters of life, it is related to the fleur de lis. Here we see the god Enki, the god of medicine, going to his son, who has 2 dragons up and down his back as the Kundalini, receiving the waters of life, which are described as a botanical elixir. Here, a Mayan glyph shows the frogs of shamanism, and the Tikalian culture would in fact call themselves smoking the frog. The priest king would call himself smoking the frog, by which the jaguar double astral body would be awakened, and he would voyage through the serpent. Here we see the shaman converting into his jaguar double through smoking the frog, awakening his life force and traveling into his astral body. Therein you see the jaguar pause there. So the jaguar priest through 5-methoxy-DMT. The Mayan language has been documented to have its foundation to the Proto-Vedic, as do the number systems. Dr. Sabash Cook of Los Alamos National Labs has indeed documented that. Here we see the Ahu frog of the Mayans, where the parathyroid gland is a circle with 3 points in, where the 5-methoxy-DMT is released. In fact, it is this frog now on the right here that releases the sun into the galactic center in 2012. So 2012 is the alignment of the 5-methoxy-DMT principle, the third eye principle, the Somahuasca principle, the ayahuasca principle, to the galactic center in the Mayan legacy. This was also in the Vedas, because the Brahmins would press the frogs to get the Soma juice described in the Rig Veda. So by the Mayans, by the folklore use of mushrooms, such as in the Merovingian legacy, we have some important connections of shamanic use of tryptamines. The place of focus of shamans in Peru has been places like Sipan and Tucumí. Here some of the pyramid complexes with underground tunnel systems. The apparent art language being a psychedelic language, being cosmograms that require psychedelic states to be able to see the pattern ideographics. Likewise, the Aum, which is embodied by Ganesh in the Vedas, or Marutas in the Rig Veda, as an elephant-headed god, is found in both Peru and Mexico, where there are no elephants, representing a shamanic state. Also, Buddhas have been found in Peru, linking the 2 cultures, and the medicine Buddha. We find then in the folklore traditions that soma, or alchemical rue, was used as a protection against snake poison in certain formulations, as ayahuasca can do. This lineage then goes from the Vedas, through Egypt, through Greece, through the Buddhistic medicine Buddha traditions of Asoka, to the Grail legacy, the Soma Grail Panacea, where here the boat of shamanism, the Valentine boat shamanism of the Grail family, Joseph of Arimathea, Mary Magdalene, Lazarus, and other Essenes, arrive in Europe, having left from Phoenicia, the alchemical center of Sidon. Here from Phoenicia we see a Graal cup in which the ambrosias or elixirs were kept. So they arrive then in Europe, and they trace through the star boat. The boat of Joseph of Arimathea is described to be the boat of the 7 stars of the Big Dipper, just as that is the boat of the Somapas, of the Rig Veda, and of the Taoist voyagers and alchemists. So was this the boat of Joseph of Arimathea, a kind of sky pyramid. This boat would model the stellar Adam or the stellar Christ. And they found that there are Buddhistic statues brought with them of the medicine Buddha at Aix-en-Provence. So they brought, these Essenes brought Buddhas along, brought the Meru legacy of Soma along. Medicine Buddhism, Theravada monks were sent by Emperor Asoka into Greece, Alexandria, and Egypt to become the therapeutae of the Essenes. Medicines to heal body and soul. Kind of Soma Huasca formulas from the Rasa Ratnakara of Nagarjuna, transliterated from the Soma alchemical manuals of the Rasana and the Rasayana texts of Bhoganada and Agastya. From here, you see how the Nabatean Gnostic agape feast of mushrooms, the feast of blood of Christ, is derived. This is just 32 years after Christ, practicing some of these shamanic tools. However, these Gnostic cults were heavily hunted down by the church, and the focus on mushrooms is what remained of the legacy. The deeper alchemical Somahuasca plants became more obscure over time, but nevertheless the symbol has remained in our yearly Christmas celebrations, so that the shamanic legacy from the genesis of history is in our yearly celebration of Christ Mass of the Tree of Life. In concluding, we have bitten off more than we could chew, so it goes. I'd like to really thank Corinna Muller and Christian here for having taken the effort to come from Southern Europe up to Northern Europe to record this for the benefit of you in Peru, and in support of Alan Schumacher for this 4th Great Ayahuasca Congress, which is very important in setting a new blueprint for the techno-shamans that are now emerging, the age of the medicine Buddhas. Through the Essene legacies, through the Merovingians, through the books of Merlin, and the Gnostics, we find that the legacy of the wild rue, of the Pagunum Harmala, of the brother of ayahuasca, containing the same molecules, is described as part of the elixir of immortality. Samuel Hill Norton wrote in 1421 in a book called The Key of Alchemy, the Elixir of Life, that it is the juice of rue which is used, wild rue specifically, together with gums, and usually gum arabica is from acacia tree. The DMT admixture plant, and the quintessence of gold is to be added. The potable gold is related very much so to that of the superconducting element. So you find that in 1421 in the medieval shamanic literature, before it became more obscured. In the alchemy of the sun and the moon from the Vedas, you also have this taken into medieval alchemy. Here you see Basil Valentine's Valentinian alchemy, where the plants of the sun and the moon must be brought together in the heart. It is the convergence of all opposites through compassionate love that is the essence of Soma shamanism. The Grail family then were a shamanic legacy, trying to let the cup overflow, to enable people to become realized through their own shamanic education, through the superintelligence of the plants, the superintelligence underlying the universe. Here, a secret map given to me by a high initiate of Europe shows how the stars are laid out in Europe, and the Grail family goes to these points where the precession of the equinoxes are aligned onto Europe. They were tracing then the cosmic atom, the new star atom, the star body, into the star grids of Europe. This was the Merovingian legacy, awaiting for this time now of the medicine Buddha collectivity, the egg from which one is reborn, the Christ is born, the cosmic Adam is born, is tracing the planets and the precession cycle on the grid, so the stars are mirrored on Earth, as is depicted